recent years it seems that it hasn't just been humans that have struggled. Sadly, there's very few places left that haven't felt the effects of humans, and wildlife researchers have said that drastic changes need to happen in order to preserve our natural world. Humans are an extremely invasive species, and one of the ways we are directly affecting wildlife populations is by destroying habitats and overhunting. Ecosystems can be quite fragile, and although people are now starting to change their ways in order to help animals, there's still a lot that needs to be done. Residents in Russia have just reported that hundreds of ravens suddenly fell from the sky. These reports came out of the Novosibirsk region, with one resident saying that they counted the birds, and they got to 400 in just one area. This is just the latest report of mass bird deaths that have been reported, and as of right now scientists are struggling to come up with an answer for why this is happening in various countries. One local said that the birds were sitting in their trees, then as they flew out they all started to drop one by one. Experts close to the region have said they will be investigating the event, but said that the most likely answer for this is poisoning. Interestingly, this explanation was put forward by other scientists in different countries, but it's caused some to question whether this is what's really happening, with some asking whether every bird will drop out of the sky at the same time. In the last 12 months alone, there's been mass bird die-offs in Italy, England, Ireland, New York, Indonesia, India and now Russia, sparking concerns that something is happening to our world that's messing with these birds, and is in turn causing them to fall out of the sky. Some who have observed these events have said it's as if these birds are getting hit by blunt force trauma, saying that whatever is causing this is taking the birds out immediately, and that it's as if the birds were perfectly fine before this happened. As mentioned, this isn't the only place where this strange event has been observed. Biologists working at the New Mexico State University and White Sands Missile Range collected and examined nearly 300 birds that had mysteriously passed away. The researchers stated that various species had passed away under mysterious circumstances, and many of these were put under unknown causes. Martha Desmond, who is a professor at the New Mexico State University Department of Fish, Wildlife and Conservation Ecology, said that the sheer amount of birds that had passed away was worrying. She went on to say the following: "It's terribly frightening. We've never seen anything like this. We're losing probably hundreds of thousands if not millions of migratory birds." End quote. At first, researchers said that it may have been an isolated incident, but the more these birds were being discovered showed researchers that this might not have been the case, and that something worrying was happening. Local residents then came forward and said that the local wildlife had been behaving strangely, and that various birds were not active or flying like normal. At the time though, these residents didn't know that hundreds of thousands of birds were about to pass away for unknown reasons. As of right now, some of the affected birds include warblers, sparrows, swallows, blackbirds and flycatchers. Martha Desmond went on to say the following: "A number of these species are already in trouble. They are already experiencing huge population declines, and then to have a traumatic event like this is devastating." End quote. Tricia Cutler, who is a wildlife biologist, said the following: "People have been reporting that the birds look sleepy. They're really just lethargic. One thing we're not seeing is that our resident birds mix in with these dead birds. We have resident birds that live here. Some of them migrate and some of them don't, but we're not getting birds like roadrunners or quail or doves." End quote. Martha Desmond did say though that some of these birds must be healthy, as they have their migratory feathers, but said that something is happening after this process that is wiping the birds out, going on to say this isn't just a few birds. Something massive is happening that's caused these birds to drop. Another thing that added confusion was that people suggested that it may have been the insects the birds were eating that caused them to drop, but the biologists noted that many of these birds were seed eaters and suffered the same fate. As of right now, many of these birds are having tests carried out on them, and this is happening at the US Fish and Wildlife Service Forensics Laboratory in Ashland. The researchers there hope that further analysis will help them answer why so many birds suffered the same fate. Desmond said the following: "Over 3 billion birds have died since 1970. Insect populations are crashing, and this is just an unprecedented mortality." Scientists did say that one explanation that could explain why this is happening is that of strong winds, although as you can imagine this wasn't met with open arms, and others said that something else was at play. Scientists and researchers have investigated this phenomena over the years, and different theories have been put forward. Various things can affect these birds. This ranges from electromagnetic currents to things like poisons. As some have pointed out though, if these animals were poisoned, is it likely that they would all drop at once and in the same area? In these situations, all of the birds can be found very close to each other. Some have said it's as if these birds were zapped, and whatever passed through them caused them to pass away on the spot. People have been putting forward their own theories as to why this is happening, noting that radio towers and radio wave emissions could be messing with the bird's senses, saying that tests are being carried out and it's proven that this does directly affect these birds. So what do you make of this report from Russia, and why do you think that so many birds are falling out of the sky? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.